So if greatness is in front of Jett, this is so good for this kid. This kid not being challenged keeps him at a level, but this kid being challenged elevates him. Tomac is just gonna elevate Jett, y'all. I just think seeing Eli, hearing Eli in front of him, just getting blown by Roos probably and Rocks was throwing him off, and the racecraft he usually has, the focus he usually has, it just wasn't there. Like, can you imagine trying to catch that kind of Eli Tomac? Let's give Jett some credit here. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Trackside. It's your boy Cinema J here, and I am back. What a crazy night of racing. We saw it all. We saw everything we wanted to see from one person, I'll be honest, and that's Eli Tomac. We saw some wheeling through the whoops. We saw standing through sand sections. We saw sitting through sand sections. And either way, they both were amazing by this guy. Whatever he did in San Diego, everything he did in San Diego was absolutely amazing. If this is your first time here, consider subscribing, like the video, comment, share. You people who share, wow. All right, really, you guys are special. Before I go any farther and before we get into this thing, I want to give a big shout out and thanks to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. This channel literally would not exist without him. All glory and honor be to him first. Second, thank you guys who have been supporting this channel. And because of the support, I finally am about to do a giveaway. Like, legit, just give something away. You don't have to go and buy something from Cinema J. Like, I'm gonna give you guys something. So I can give a quick sneak peek. My wife's like, no, you need to build anticipation. She's right, but I'll just give good. Ooh, I don't even know if y'all saw that. Cool if you didn't, but we're gonna give some stuff away for free, man. So we'll get into that, but I'm shooting for 7,000 subscribers. 10,000, I mean, it's taking a little long to get there, and I want to give you guys something, so just stick around for that, man. But for now, let's get into round 2 of Monster Energy Supercross in San Diego. Snapdragon Stadium was lit. All right, guys, of course, we're starting off. I think I decided with this video, we're gonna do 450s and 250s, and I'm gonna do a little preview show later in the week. We're gonna give that a shot and see how that goes. So I'm gonna throw everything all in one video. Let's go. No waiting for a 450 and 250. We got them both, but we're gonna start with the best news. I ain't gonna hold y'all out to the 30-minute mark. Eli Tomac, woo, baby, that was a ride, man. Let's get right into this ride, because that's why y'all are here. So he battled with Jett. Was it a battle? All right, I can't wait. I'm talking about Jett next. I'm really excited to talk about him. Some people think I'm trash talking. How? Because I got some really good things to say about him coming up. But Eli Tomac, I'm just gonna talk about points in the race that were just super exciting for me, man. I already said in my last video, dude, I was shaking. It was as if I was Eli Tomac, especially when he's getting around Vince Freezes. It's those moments when he's like late in the race getting through lappers. It's those moments when Jett pulls him in close. It's those moments, and I'm just like, oh no, not again. Because I'll be honest, if Jett would have beat this Tomac last night, things are looking real scary for everybody. So I'm not saying Jett won't win, because once again, stick around, got a really good Jett Lawrence segment today. That sand section, y'all, I got a clip. I mean, we watched the race, I already said, all right, but their highlights are out and all that stuff. But you know, it's a little murky looking clip right here of him blowing through it like that. Yo, it was that moment for me. And like I told y'all last video, whoever ain't watched it, I'm in bed trying to watch this on the phone. Come like it's late on the East Coast. I gotta get up in the morning, and I saw that, and your boy had to get up. I was, the excitement was uncontrollable. So if anybody went to the race, still seriously, put in the comments, how was that experience? But I'm looking at this thing, and I ain't seen it. I wish somebody got a real good close-up slow-mo shot of that, because wow, what he did there. Now he sat down. He sat down, but what he said in the press conference was he noticed it was dug out in the sight lap, and he took advantage of it. So these are the things, guys, especially guys racing, you know, coming up. You get to hear these things from guys like him, the best, you know, in the sport. It's like, what do I look for in the sight lap? Well, things like this. Like, he's like, you know, everyone's hitting that inside line. So Eli Tomac is Eli Tomac. Eli Tomac, the guy's a monster on the clutch. And when they're saying, at the end of the day, from what I learned back in the day, this track we had called 5 Points over on the East Coast, North Carolina, it was a sand section kind of off in the back. And when in doubt, just pin the throttle. My guy Tomac said forget all of those physics, all that stuff. He just gave it full throttle, fully committed to the outside of that sand section and just rocketed around that thing, man. That was crazy. Like that, so far, that one move right there, for me, might be one of the craziest things I've seen. Like, we see guys struggling in sand sections. Of course, supercross suspension in sand section, I can't imagine because I've not experienced that. Stock suspension in the sand section is sketchy. So my guy Eli, he sat down and just fully committed. This is greatness. So that was just crazy for me. Now after that, I'm watching more. There's a clip here, RacerX's got a clip where they show him. He stood up through the whole thing, which still for me is just incredible. Guys riding at the pace that he's riding at is why I'm saying it's super incredible. He's standing up around the whole thing now. He just blew it out sitting down. Now he's standing up around this whole thing and just sending it. So guys, you want to know what it looks like, what you got to do to beat Jett Lawrence? You gotta do this. And man, I'll be honest, not many people can do that. Chase is like the only one, but I can't wait to see what happens when he gets a good start and battles up front with these guys. Guys, we are going to have a 3-way battle. I'm pretty sure, and I'm fairly certain that's what we're going to see all year. So, whoo, man, what else? The Willie through the wolves. Like, dude, seriously, yes, if you were a fan or not a fan, it doesn't matter. You got to see it all done by this man last night. And I know he pulled off. He looked good when he pulled off. This is the thing I noticed. Like, he pulled off. He was straight. Like, he was good. He wasn't like super tired, defeated, and like worn out. You know what I'm saying? He looked like he had fun. He looked like he had something to prove. And even at 31, with modern day technology and science, man, I believe he can hang it out like this. I really do believe he can hang it out like this for the rest of the year. I'm 33 and I feel good, all right? Tomac 31, about to be 32. My guys got it, all right? So, dude, how did that make y'all feel, man? Watching Eli Tomac on that ride. Like, whoa, dude. But yeah, speaking of that, so, red plate, man. He had the best looking bike, and he's gonna have the best looking bike next week. Well, he had the best looking setup of the night, and next week it's looking like he's gonna have the best setup again. 2 races in a row, he's looking good and comfy. Whoo, boy, this is crazy. And he's gonna have the red plate, so he's gonna be looking even better with that red plate. The red number 3, guys, is back. Oh man, but we get to see it on the new bike. All right, this is good, man. This is good. So. Well, we did get no. We saw a red number 1 on the new YZ450. Now we're gonna see a red number 3 on the newer 450. So man, oh man, I can't wait for A2, yo. And I know Tomac is coming in there like I'm not letting that mistake happen again. This is crazy. So this season for me, I said, is reminiscent of RC Reed and Stewart era. Man, it's just a 3-way battle. That's what I see the rest of the year. What do you guys see? I mean, now don't get me wrong. Anybody can win. Cooper Webb, like I feel like it's I ain't gonna lie, it's tough to say he's gonna win a race this year. But he always seems to do it, right? So, but yeah, Eli Tomac, man, he's giving us something on this last ride. I feel like when Ricky was on his way out, and that excitement everyone had, like he's still the guy, even though he's on his way out. That's where we're at. That's where we're at with Eli Tomac. Eli Tomac is great. He's amazing. That's all I got for Eli. I am really excited to get into talking about Jett. So, man, let's jump right into that. All right, Honda bike setup. Dazzy dropped some wisdom on the boys. First off, he dropped some wisdom on his sons, Jett and Hunter. It is so good to hear a father step up. He's the only dad that I heard in all these interviews who stepped up and really talked about what I talked about last week, which is who's that eye that you have on the side that can see things that you're not seeing out there on the track. Even though you're great, even though you're good, who's that eye that can see these things from a different perspective? And that is Dazzy for the Lawrence brothers. I'll say a huge weapon that they have is their father, man. This guy, he gave them so much wisdom, and I think this is going to be bad news for everybody else. First off, well, I'll talk about what they did to the bike, and then we get into like his mindset. Well, I'm talking about him, so let's talk about what he talked about to his sons. If you guys didn't catch the interviews after the race, one thing he was saying was noticing what they were doing wrong and asking them both in the whoop section, why were you doing what you were doing in the whoop section? They were just, and it was cool in the press conference, Jett said itself, he was like, you know, I don't really know. I just picked it and just stuck with it. And he was like, I was being stubborn. That's what Dazzy said. He's like, they both were being stubborn. They were stuck in their ways and they didn't make an adjustment. You're not gonna be Eli Tomac like this. Shoot, the way Chase was riding, you might not be him like this. So Jett said exactly what I was seeing, which was he was suffering in the whoop section and then trying to make up for it. Keyword trying. He was trying to make up for it because Saturday night he did not make up for it. He was trying to make up for it everywhere else around the track, and that's not what you want. That's just not good. So racecraft, Tomac checks all the boxes. Jett, I saw weakness. Now take out Tomac from that race, we see complete greatness from Jett Lawrence. So this brings me to my next point. Guys, Jett, you thought Jett was good before? Oh no. After Jett just raced Eli Tomac like this kid is about to get even better. Just when we thought Jett couldn't get better, yo, Jett said it himself jokingly. He was like, you know, I got a fishing rod in my back pocket and I took it out and I hooked onto this guy named Eli Tomac, and I was just reeling him in, and I just kept him on my line. Yo, if Eli Tomac was not in front of Jett, he can't do that. So if greatness is in front of Jett, this is so good for this kid. This kid not being challenged keeps him at a level. But this kid being challenged elevates him. Tomac is just gonna elevate Jett, y'all. Y'all, nobody's talking about this. Jett gets to go back now with a different perspective. Like, I lost, and here's some things I can work on. This is so good for them, man. Oh my goodness, yo. Like, cause now take this same race next year, eliminate Eli Tomac, and Jett is coming in here not making those mistakes, y'all. Man, this is crazy. Like, adversity can elevate you if you know how to deal with it properly, right? So he's not beating himself up. He's not going out there acting like Deegan. All right, come on, man. I expect more from you, Deegan. Listen to your dad and your team, all right? This is what Jett did. He did that. That's what I said last week, man. He went to his brother. He consulted his brother. He consulted his father and everyone in his circle, and that's what you got to do, man. I mean, you got to consult someone else too, all right? All right, there's a number one counselor out there, so I hope they did that. But yeah, man, that's what he did. He got his head back on straight. Yo, Jett about to be on one. If he races this kind of Tomac all year, I cannot wait to outdoor season, man. We thought Jett was good. He had that easy year when everybody was injured. Now racing with like true competition is going to elevate him so much more, man. So that's what took James up a level. That's what took RC up a level. RC went up a level when James came in. So that's just kind of the point I'm making. So this is about to get wild. This season is nuts. Yeah, that's what I said. The more races that Jett has like this with Tomac, the better he's gonna get. That's just it, man. Nobody's talked about that, yo. So Honda worked on gearing and getting into a little bit of the setup I heard them talk about. They worked on their gearing for the starts specifically. So that was the problem last week. They worked on their gearing for the track in the whoop section, what they thought was good, and then it failed them on the start. So now they worked on the gearing, went back to something they were familiar with to get that start, get an advantage. Still didn't put them where they need to be. I just blame this on the new bike and maybe the ECU. They had a few changes. But then we get into the forks and suspension for better control. He mentioned this. So this is what James was pointing out. Look at all the chatter in the front end, and then Ricky pointing out the lack of grip in the rear end. So they seemingly worked on this, fixed it a bit more, because I'm hearing they're still not there. But this is great. Got the forks taken care of. I did not see. I was looking at his front wheel all night. It looked to be a lot more stable. And then the suspension, so they lowered the sag for better traction in the rear, changed riding posture to accommodate the lower sag. So this is huge. that real grip that Ricky was talking about, yeah, I heard the bike was a little high in the rear, so they lowered it. Now, getting better grip, just adapting to this bike. And this was huge though, what Jett said, this was really good. So we take what we learned, which was they use their technique and adapt to what the bike is doing versus what everyone else does. Let's use a Chase. He got his technique, and now he needs the bike to work with his technique. So we were like, okay, this is why the Lawrences are so great. We're starting to see the disadvantages of that because as Jett said himself, the way he got used to that old bike and the technique he had on that old bike, he's carrying that technique into the new bike, and that's mentally what he's programmed to do. So now he's in the process, guys. He's got to adapt his style to this bike and not bring the old ways, keeping his head back, all those things. He could be comfy. He could do those. He could get away with that on the old bike. Now he's got to change that for this bike, and we're going to see that as the season progresses. Guys, he rode great. Like I said, take Eli Tomac out of this. He looks like the best guy out there. You know, Chase, debatable, but this is wild, yo. What is next week gonna look like? I don't know, but this is amazing. But let's see. Where am I leaving? What am I leaving out? I know I'm leaving something out. Yeah, he got comfy in the middle of the whoop section. Yeah, got comfy. I was expecting him to follow Eli through the whoops and then use that speed Eli had and maybe make something happen in that turn, at least get closer. But yeah, man, he was just fading in the whoops and trying to catch up. So, guys, I'm just gonna say it. I think he was flustered. And the racecraft that he usually has, I just think seeing Eli, hearing Eli in front of him, just getting blown by roosts probably and rocks was throwing him off. And the racecraft he usually has, the focus he usually has, it just wasn't there. Like, can you imagine trying to catch that kind of Eli Tomac? Let's give Jett some credit here, like, for finishing right behind him. Dude, like, I know Jett is great, but can you imagine being on your bike, getting on a bike and trying to keep up with what we saw? That was nuts, yo. So what a battle. That was great. What I want now, because that tickled my fancy. What I want now is Chase, Tomac, Jett, first, second, third, right there. I need to see the results of that. I need to see that, man. So comment, Jett, where you guys at? This kid is great. He's awesome. These guys are figuring it out, and my goodness, Dazzy's whipping them boys into shape. So yeah, next we're gonna talk about Webb and Roczen in that battle. There were so many battles. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get to them all. We're already at about like 19 minutes here, but let's just, next section, we're gonna just talk about everybody else in the 450 class. Always had a way to make it work and find another route. All right, welcome back, guys. All right, so the Webb and Roczen battle was great. It was great, bar none, amazing. When Roczen got around Webb, first and foremost, if you didn't know, Webb was sick. All right, so we're dealing with a sick Webb here. Okay, for perspective, this is huge. All right, and Webb on a West Coast, this is huge. All right, and he got a podium. Webb starts the season off with podiums on the West Coast. He's dangerous. This kind of Webb ends up with titles, okay? So do not count this dude out. NC, stand up, let's go. Somebody represent from North Carolina, I love it. All right, we on the map out here. We got Michael Jordan, we got Cooper Webb. We different out here. They say it's the water, I just say, I don't know. We just different, it's the state. So Webb and Roczen battle. This took me blast to the past, man. It just took me right back to like 2019, 20, and 2021. It just took me back to those days where Webb and Roczen, the Honda Roczen and the Yamaha Webb were just battling it out for 1 and 2, man. So I was like, oh, here we go. Here we go. What we're gonna see, like where we at today, you know? So as good as Roczen has been looking, he looked great last race, dominant. I believe San Diego was more of a challenge with the dirt, I would say, and what was happening with the rocks coming up and everything, how the track was breaking down. I believe that favored Webb more, but I'll be honest, guys, I don't care about the results from first race. I'll be honest, I'm taking Webb over Roczen. I feel like Webb is still today stronger than Ken Roczen. What do you guys think? That's my take on it. Not biased here, not biased. It's the fact that my guy gutted out a third sick and Roczen didn't. Okay, that's it. So we know they're gonna go, they're gonna test, they're gonna do things, figure things out. So that's what's exciting about this sport, because you can't write anyone off. Like, things could drastically change for one person and the next person within a week. So everyone is leveling up and getting faster. It's not that guys are getting slower too. That's what's wild about this sport. It's not that Webb is getting slower. It's not that Roczen is getting slower. It's not that Anderson is getting slower, which I don't know what happened to him. Somebody let me know. I may have to check Instagram, and I'll just throw some up here for an update. But man, it's just that other guys will get faster, man. That's what's so exciting about this. All right, so yeah, Webb wants to leave the West in the mix. This is what he says. We already know what that means. What that means for everybody when we get on the East Coast, because that's when he starts getting W's. All right, but Roczen overall looked great. He's in the hunt. This is good. I like this top 5 that we got in the hunt here. It's just, I would say top 6, because Anderson, he's kind of lost in there, but cannot count him out. Had an off night, finished behind Prado. Hey man, just wasn't his night. I think this was the race where his radiator cap blew in 2022 when he was dominating. So how do you come out in the first race with broken spokes, get a second? No, a third, I'm sorry. He got a third. And then this one, I mean, maybe it was something with the bike, but again, just disaster outside the top 10. So you finished behind Prado, who went to the LCQ and don't even know what he's doing out there. So please don't be offended, because I'm gonna get to him too. Prado was great last night, or in San Diego, just 2-3 nights ago. All right, what else? What we got? Chase Sexton. Can't do that, buddy. It's like, I probably said this last video, but this is just good. Chase, I'm saying this because this is what happened. You found some quarters, evidently, with some lint. You know, I don't know where you got quarters from, dude. I don't know the last time I seen a quarter, but you found them and you went to the laundromat. All right, you went right back to the laundromat, dude. It's like you need to avoid that place. But look, and don't get me wrong, I ain't writing him off, but if he's gonna win a championship, he cannot do that. I'm rooting for Chase. Like, I'm rooting for Tomac. I would say I feel like I'm the biggest Tomac fan this year. Who's my number 1 guy is what I mean. Tomac. Then, I'll be honest, Chase and Jett for me even. Either one wins, I'm happy. And then Webb, just because he's from North Carolina. But, yo, Chase, what happened, man? Was it a lack of focus, guys? Was it? It was just a racing mistake. But it's just, you know, I know he's going back, and his dad is probably talking to him too. Like, you cannot do that. If there's nothing wrong with the bike and all this stuff, and it's stuff like that, if you want to win a championship, Ricky says this all the time, James, they'll say this stuff. You can't do that. All right, so you can't spot these guys' points, and that's what he did. It's mistakes like that that by the end of the season will cost them 1 or 2 points where these guys can be at in the battle, in the hunt for the championship. So I didn't like to see that. He had a great ride though. He still looks solid, which is good. To do that and battle up the 6th, Tomac got up the 5th. Hey, I'll take it, man. So this just got me more excited to see Chase next week, because I think he's still looking good. The question is, would San Diego Chase have been able to beat Jett if he was up front? What do you guys think, man? I don't know. The cameras weren't on Chase like that. I wasn't seeing how he was riding. And I feel like Chase and Jett are actually in the same place. They're both not 100% themselves. They say this like, I'm not the fastest I know I could be. They're both saying that, but they're both still so fast, and their technique is so good. They're so strong. They can maintain the same riding posture for the entire night, which is crazy to me. So man, I just want to see these guys up front so we can finally settle this and see what's happening. Like multiple races, of course. AP sick, Hunter sick, Dylan Ferrandis sick. Everybody's sick, yo. I mean, I was sick. So I hope these boys are feeling better next week, because what's crazy is we still got some crazy races to witness, because a lot of people are just sick or not 100% now. Shoot, Jett looked like it was acting like he was sick last week. So I don't know. We're going to see what happens next week at A2. This is why I'm excited. I hope everyone comes back to feeling better. A week should be enough, so long as they ain't battling with some crazy illnesses. But it was sad to see AP pull off. cool to see Hunter still toughing it out and get in the top 10. So last few things I want to talk about with the 450 class. Also, guys, let me know if you enjoy these longer videos. Like, for them to be longer, I can't really edit it as much because this thing would take forever to get out. So please let me know how you're feeling this. If you're just feeling the vibes and the energy, we just talking, you know what I'm saying? As I'm talking, you comment, yo, it's a dialogue. Let's go. The quad was cool. Now, it wasn't a quad it wasn't a stewable quad, because one would argue that for it to be a stewable quad, it's a quad that no one thought to do, that they didn't build for them to do like a quad, and therefore no one is doing it, but he does it anyway. So this was just a quad because everybody could do it. Privateers could do it. Factory riders could do it. Prado said this was his first quad ever. So this was a quad, but it wasn't a quad. You know what I mean? So Juju saying, you know, it wasn't faster. He learned it wasn't faster. Just goes to show, like, you know, where he's at. So we'll get to him. Yeah, yo, the quad, they asked the riders how they felt about it. Some guys weren't feeling it. Some guys were feeling it. What do you guys think about it? I think it's probably from a fan perspective out there at the race, pretty cool to see him flying that high. But yeah, it's one of those things. It's like, if it wasn't a quad that really can separate guys, then what's the point, right? And I think that's the approach Julian Boomer had. So why risk it? So someone said the Dirtworks guys was like, they weren't expecting them to go and hit it like that. That's why they built the last jump, the landing jump, how they did in press day. So I think it was Jett who was just like, yo, if you're gonna build this to where we can hit it like this, you gotta fix the landing. You gotta fix how we can land. And I think they did. And overall, it didn't really take anybody out like that. There was some sketchy moments, you know, just the rhythm section itself, but the quad wasn't really the blame for it. So, but wow, these jumps are looking big this year. So it's like they're going big on the rhythm section jumps, and then wimpy on the whoops. But they did give us 10 whoops, which was great. I'm hoping 10 turns to 11. I'm hoping 11 turns to 20. All right. Wow. Man, if they could just make a decision, like, all right, we're gonna have one race with 20 whoops, like something like that. Even like, okay, 10 I feel like should be the standard now, not 9. Like, come on, really? 9. Justin Cooper made a good point. Makes it easier for you to time 3, 3, 3. 10 shakes it up just a little bit. So I think it would be super cool to be just 10 with the starter whoop, so 10 and a half, but have one race with like 11. I would love to see Glendale, Arizona with 20 whoops. That would be crazy, yo. So I think that would be awesome. I think that would be great. That would be cool. And then what we got finishing up 450s. This is a long video. My battery's about to die. Jett says style points earned for everyone who hit the quad. Like 100%. Like, just watching it, it was exciting. It was just cool to watch every time. And yes, like, if you could scrub, if you could hit it with some style too, cool points to you. But yeah, Prado, being that was Prado's first quad, I think is really cool. And then the LCQ. So there were a lot of first things for Prado. So it's first time hitting a quad. It was his first time in the LCQ. And what else we got? He said he never raced a whoop section like that before. So, hey, just like I was saying with Jett, what's going to improve Jett is Eli Tomac. All right, 2026 Jett. All right, I was hype about Deegan coming up battling Jett, but yo, the Jett that's going to emerge from racing this kind of Eli Tomac is going to be elite, my guy. He's going to be elite. So, yo, Jett is about to be on one. This is crazy. But back to Prado. Prado, that was cool, man. So first LCQ, wasn't it so exciting? Like, I know we're all sitting here like, I can't wait to see Prado pull a start on all these dudes in the LCQ. And whoa, it was crazy. Like, what did they say? Like 3-4 bike links. Like, yo, gosh, man, this dude is a crazy starter. So, hey, Jason Anderson, El Hombre, you need to take notes. I know he's learning from you, but you need to learn from him on how to start better, because, man, you will be way better if you got better starts. But, yeah, and then the whoop section. So, yes, this was my point. Prado facing tracks like this, having fun like this, his mindset is so good. is gonna make him better. Now he has experience on a whoop section like this. This is about as bad as it can get as a whoop section. You got rocks, you got that middle rut, they're cupped out. This is as bad as it gets. Even when we're seeing Jett and Hunter struggle through whoops, this is as bad as it gets. So this is only good for Prado that he experiences these things so that he can come out next year and just be a different guy. So, and I love how he puts things in perspective for us to say, guys, the bike can be faster, but it has to get faster as I get faster. So the guy's humble. He's a champion. He's got the right mindset, and he's in it for the long run. Forget all that, though. I'm ready for motocross season with Prado. Honestly, this is all cool and whatever, but I'm ready for this kid, Jett. We can have a 4-5-way battle outdoors, yo. Prado, Jett, Hunter, Chase, Tomac. Let's go. Ready for motocross season. That's it for the 450 class. Let's get into the 250s. We're going to start off with the winner, well-deserved, Julian Beaumer.